devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand, bang, got my hand. Call
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's fix this angle. I don't like this angle. Jiminy crickets. There we go. How's everybody doing? Let's go ahead and get started. First off, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And look at this. We're literally starting with a Montana super chat. This is beautiful. He says, the music is pretty sick. Thank you. The only reason that I'm playing that song is because of two reasons. One, it's free. Two, it's tolerable and it's decent. It's decent. It grew on me, right? When you go through all these options of what music you can play, it's like, okay, that's decent. That's decent. And then you hear the other stuff, you're like, oh, okay, that's good compared to everything else. So thank you, Montana. I appreciate you, bro. And you know what? I know there's so many other creative people out there. Like there are people out there that make music literally every day. I would love to call on y'all. If y'all could make like a dope beat for the beginning of DLD, I would love that. Otherwise, I'm about to whip out Fruity Loops, Pro Tools, GarageBand, whatever I can get my hands on, and just make a beat, right? It's not that difficult if you used to make music. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Montana, again, my friend, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So first, let's greet all of our channel members by doing the first things first, which is greeting who was first this evening. Dang old Matt, my guy. You've been getting it a few times, bro. You've gotten it a few times now. So dang old Matt, congratulations, my guy, for being first. You're due at least one high five, if not more. But for now, a high five must do, because that's all we can do. Let's go through and greet all of our other channel members. Let me just get a little bit of nicotine real quick. Woo! That mic picks it up, boy. Mike picks it up big time. While you wait, please enjoy this word from our sponsors, your local file, DMB and Co. Whew. Okay, so ADXR920, what's up, brother? Also a channel member, appreciate you. And by the way, if you didn't notice, almost every single stream, it is almost always a channel member who is first. Excuse me, a channel member. I appreciate you. ADXR920, my guy, channel member. And actually, usually I point back to what's on the table here and say, I've joined the XR920 club, but now it's in the pantaloons. So there you go. Got that XR920 on deck, and I got the 19 Alertin on deck too. Why not? Double it up, right? This is kind of just like my streaming thing. It's like, you know what? I'll put on a shoulder rig for the stream. A Galco Miami Classic 2. What? Of course, with 2 extra magazines. You know what I'm saying? 2 extra Americazines. Benchies. Benchies go boom. Also in chat, I appreciate you. Also a channel member, I appreciate you. My guy, thank you. We love the Benchy. Key ASC, what's up, bro? Also a channel member, appreciate you. ADXR920, Benchies go boom. Johnny Propane, my guy, what's up, brother? Also a channel member. We got Gouda Cheese, Dave Fromage. I forgot how he says it, but something Dave Fromage, which in French means gutter cheese, but he does the thing. I don't do it very well. Mike McClune, the loon, the goon, what up? Mike McClune, also channel member, says, well, Chef Mike's kitchen was closed this evening. And why? Because, Mike, that's why. French fries and chicken nuggets from the Choke and Puke, a.k.a. McDonald's. Oh, God bless you. Mark Tucker, my guy, also a channel member. Appreciate you. Benchies, Gouda Cheese. Let's see. See, I left y'all here too long, so there's way too much chat to go through. But I love y'all for it, and we'll do it every time because I need to make sure that every single one of y'all is greeted. Okay, it's important to me. All right, let me know if it's important to you. Flying Rich, what's up, brother? Also a channel member. I love you. John Crump Live, also a channel member. My guy. We got love for you too, bro. Both y'all, my peeps. Mike McClune, Benchy, Mike McClune, Zanty Misfit. What's up, fam? Also a channel member. Appreciate you. Zanty, KSC, Mike McClune, Benchies, Rip Dango. What up, Rip? Good to see you. This brand new AK101 is friggin' sweet. Hi, everyone. Appreciate you coming in, bro. Appreciate you. Mark Tucker, Bear Jaw. Sorry, I got to practice that. I always think of that movie, I say Bear Jew. Sorry. Toy Town Inc. Where you been at, bro? I miss you, man. I miss you, bud. Good to see you here, though. Also a channel member. Appreciate the support. Y'all know it. Let's see. Mark Tucker, Mike McClune, Benchy Go Boom. Rip Dango, Mark Tucker, let's see who else. Gouda Cheese, Bear Jew, Mike McClune, Mark Tucker. There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know where to find the best tactical, practical, classical flashlights in the business, it is Goonbeam. Check out the link in the description. No, I'm not just saying that because, it supports the channel if you guys do use the link and code DARK to save money and stuff. But Goonbeam literally makes ish that one day, trust me, Surefire, Streamlight, and all those guys are going to be like, how do we get rid of him? How do we get rid of him? Put 2 in the back of his head. He's got dirt on the Clintons, that kind of thing. But Goonbeam, we love you. And he's also a channel member. Sport Brand, what up? Channel member as well. Also one of our favorite mods. Also, Sport Brand, I got to get with you on shutting down this store and open up the other one because I did something wrong. And I got 4 orders, at least 4 orders sitting here that I need to kick back to y'all. So the 4 people that did order something, look, I know it's been a ridiculous amount of time. I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was going on, but I will make it right. Y'all know me. And I'll do my best to make sure you guys get that before the holidays as well. So thank you for your patience. I think it's literally because of the image or because it's being sold on a website that has firearm-related things. I mentioned that on the last stream, but it's the only thing that I can, that I could guess. Let's see. Montana is also a channel member. He had pizza for dinner. Sport Brand. Agorizer, what's up, bro? Agorizer, also a channel member. Mike McClune, Sport Brain, Too Many Choices, who also dropped a video today. If you didn't see it, I'm just saying, if you don't subscribe to the people in our community, then you're not going to see this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Joe Morris, what's up, fam? Also a channel member. DLD flour, grilled pork steak, stovetop stuffing, roasted Brussels sprouts with garlic, salt, black pepper, and olive oil was my evening meal today. Excellent. Very good and good for you. Did you know if you take Brussels sprouts and you saute them with like walnuts and things like that, and then as you're sauteing them, right before you finish them, you dump in some what's the kind of vinegar? Not malt. That's disgusting. Well, I'll remember in a second. You're gonna love it. It's a great recipe. Uh, balsamic vinegar, Brussels, and nuts. It's delicious. You're gonna love it. Let's see, Mike McClune, JC9. What's up, fam? Dark did get a haircut. Yeah, and check out, like, bro, the sides. You know what I'm saying? Nice little taper with the part up in there. You know what I'm saying? It's clean, bro. It's clean. Yeah, I needed a haircut. I was like 2 months behind. All right. Plus, my barber is my guy. He just recently had a hernia. He had to get a bunch of stuff done, and oh man, your health is so important, man. Life is so important. You never know. Like I say all the time, that moment that you're heading out the front door and you're like, I'll be right back, could be the last time you talk to your family. So make sure you're right with your family. Make sure you're right with God. It's crazy times, tumultuous times that we're living in. Let's see, Flying Rich, Bear Jew, Agorizer, TMC, Montana. Let's see who else. DLD After Dark, is it just starting now? Well, no. That was like 7 minutes ago, so kinda. I was late, all right? I had an issue, a printer issue. However, get this. I swapped filaments in a non-AMS bamboo without pausing the print. I went from blue to red, literally without stopping the print. The print was going, it was active. How did you do it? There's a way. Just that's why I was late, okay? Forgive me. Forgive me. Let's see, Flying Rich, Benchy, Blue Curtain Burner. What's up, fam? Great to see you also a channel member. Appreciate you, my guy. Let's see. Might as well rock a PSR beat. I just don't. You know what? I could ask him. I'll hit a PSR. You know what? The power of the community. Let's all hit up PSR and ask him if he'll make a dope beat for DLD. He'll probably sell it to me, though, as opposed to give it to me. But we'll see. He's been on the show. He's a good dude. Print, Shoot, Repeat is a good dude. He cares about the industry. The community, the YouTubers that all do this kinds of stuffs. So yeah, we'll see. But I mean, I loved having PSR on the show, man. He was a really good guest. And we got Clint from Classic Firearms coming back on the 12th. So I'm pumped about that. And y'all actually requested that. I got a few other requests too that I'm working on as well. But let's jump into it. So TMC, Joe Morris, Sporty Spice, JC9. I said what's up to JC9. Turkey yeah, okay. Thank you. Appreciate you. Zanti Misfit, my guy, Flying Rich channel member. Do not talk about my special mission today. Okay. I won't talk about it then. Drew, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Also a channel member. I appreciate you, man. Too Many Choices, John Crump Live. Dark sent me a text saying I'm not allowed on the show. This is true. He is not allowed to come on tonight, especially. I don't like Crump. I think he's a bad guy. But totally vote for him on the Gundies for the top voice of the 2A now and do it every day moving forward because he deserves it. I'm just kidding. I didn't text him that. I love Crump. Whew. Okay, Too Many Choices. JC9, my guy, Goombeam, ADXR, and then 20. Good Cheese, TMC, Flying Rich, Jiminy Crickets. I'm so far behind. Flying Rich, Goombeam, Bear Jew, Key ASC, JC9, Mike McClune, Sport Brand. People just coming in that aren't in our community are probably like, yo, what is this dude doing? Is he speaking in code? You know what I'm saying? Senor Boob, great to see you, man. Great to see you. Appreciate you coming in as well. Also a channel member, Joe Morris, TMC, Drew, Senor Boob. Hey, Rusty Shackelford, what's up, fam? Great to see you. Appreciate you coming in as well. He is also a channel member. Let's see, Bear Jew. Let's see, Joe Morris, Mike McClune, Mark Tucker, Mark. Okay, and then of course we got the honorable mentions. We got USMC Big B in the building. Great to see you. Appreciate you coming and hanging out as well. We got Rip Curl Readiness. Yeet. Appreciate you. Let's see who else we got. You non-members. You non-members must sit in the back. Sorry, that's probably not a good thing to say. I was joking. Ron Bear, what's up, brother? Appreciate you coming in as well. Damian Christ, my brother in Christ. James Kawasaki, Yang Yang Yang. Great to see you. The Yang Yang Gang Gang. You know what I'm saying? That was good. All right, I know. I like it. Dad jokes for days. Let's see who else we got up in here. Jamie and Christ, Fire Otter, my guy. What's up? What's up? Live Life. What up? What up? Let's see. Hayseed, what's poppin'? What's poppin'? DLD, not you, Siri. Jeez. Sorry. And anyone else in here, sound off in chat, man. I appreciate y'all being here. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First off, I appreciate all y'all's patience, man. I've been focusing the last 48 hours and some change, 2.5 days to printing, and just focus on manufacturing some stuffs for the Dilder hardware. And yeah, it's been a blast, man. Bamboo Clan ain't nothing to with, you know what I'm saying? Like that ish is out of this world. Voted for Crumpy. Thank you. Please make sure that you vote for Jan Crump. Let's see, for top voice to the 2A for the Gundies, by the way. I would say vote for DLD After Dark, but guess what? I'm not nominated. I'll never be nominated. You know why? Because I talk about everything that I shouldn't talk about. And that's probably why they hate me. I'm like, hey, carry a gun, get close with God, love your family. They're like, you can't do that. Are you serious? I know, it's crazy. All right, so the past 2 episodes, we've had conversations about preparedness, right? And one of the things that we wanted to do, like when you look at like um, preparing yourself for any potential event where you may need to fight other armed individuals, this could be, you know, any type of event where you're potentially fighting tyranny within our own government, or you're fighting maybe people in the general public, you know, the people that used to punch each other in the face over toilet paper, those guys that aren't prepared, they go to the gun shop, like, why can't I get a gun right away? We were just talking on the tactical turkeys, and it was like around when the coup came in, people would walk in and go to the gun shop and be like, I want to buy a gun, I want to buy a gun, I want a Glock, I want an AR or whatever. And then they're like, okay, sure. Which one do you want? Pick that one, whatever. Okay. Now we just have to do paperwork, and you need your documents, whether that's like in Virginia, you just have to use your ID. You don't need a second form of paperwork, like a second form of government matching paperwork with a matching ID, blah, blah, blah. But in some states you do. So then they ask them for their paperwork, and then they go fill out the paperwork, and you know they're asked to do the 4473, and they're like, "What? What do you mean I have to do paperwork? What do you mean you need my documents? What do you mean there's a wait time? Because in some states there's a waiting period, right?" And they're like tripping out that this is a real thing, and they're like, "Well, can I just use the gun show loophole?" Like, what? You think that's a thing? By the way, you voted for this. I'm just saying, you voted for this, okay? As if voting really matters. But anyway, so people that aren't prepared, they find out quick, and then they panic. And when they panic, they don't have a way to protect themselves or their family. So every single, like getting every single advantage you can stacked in your favor is the most important thing. Now, when it comes to gear and things like that, we did kind of dive into the weeds on like rifles and handguns and what is, you know, budget, entry level, what's low tier, high tier, and all that. And obviously, we all came to the conclusion that the Geisley Super Duty is the absolute best rifle in the world. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Don't get mad. I'm totally joking. It's, you know, high mid tier, right? There's a lot of other guns that are way better and have way better features than the Super Dookie. I just kind of fell in love with that one. But anyway, we kind of dug more into into the weeds on some of the products themselves and whatnot. But the reality is that if you're looking at this objectively, it's not necessarily about what you get. It's about what you get and if it is effective and if you can use it, right? You can get, like I was mentioning, you can get an Anderson upper and lower and just get a good quality barrel, a good quality BCG and bolt, and everything else is pretty insignificant. But of course, the higher quality you go, you could end up with, some better features, some better, a better result of the overall build. Okay. So no matter what you choose, no matter what brand you choose, some people have brand loyalties, right? Like aside from this, I don't have anything else Geisley. Although I like that, I really just like I hadn't even purchased a Geisley trigger prior to that. I just like because of recent research that I've done, that's why I landed on that, right? But prior to that, like right behind me, right here, is a Frankenstein rifle with a BCM, BCG, and that shit has run. I'm pushing just about 10,000 rounds with it, which to some people, that's nothing. 10,000 rounds is like when they'll consider a rifle, good enough to throw in their trunk. I don't know. Everyone's different. But whatever it is, that gear it's your decision. You get to choose what you want to use, what brand and all that. Don't forget the like button, friends, and even the feds. Yes, especially belt feds, the best feds. I appreciate you. Oregon State Police does the background checks, not the FBI. Yeah, so out here, VSP does the state does the checks, not the FBI. Is that different per state? I know I just assumed that the state police did most checks depending on the state. It may change, I guess. So Drew says Oregon has people waiting in line after filling out the 4473. One or what 1,100 people waiting for their background check clear. Been up there since Black Friday. What? That is insanity, dude. That's crazy. I mean, there are some, so I don't know if this is just a Virginia thing, but there's a point where if they can't deny a background check within a certain time period, you're lawfully allowed to pick up the firearm and leave. It's legally yours if they cannot kick back your background check and either put it in research, which means they need to do some digging and find out why you are not allowed to, take the firearm, or deny you, but a delay has to be restricted to a particular, time period. They can't just, not approve it. But I think it may be, oh dang, 34 states use the FBI. Pfft, that all day. And look at this, we got Jordan Vinro in the building. What's up, bro? I actually just wanted, you know what? Let me grab it. Hang on one second. I got to show some love to my guy. Okay, so I got home the other day, and I'm always getting packages, in and out, in and out. But I got home the other day, and I saw a package, and it said DLD on it. I was like, oh, it must be like a work thing or supplies or materials or whatever. No, you know what it was? It was a big thing of Johnson's popcorn, and it said, "Wishing you a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year from Gideon Optics." By the way, if you use code GLOWIES at Gideon Optics, you will save 10% off and get free shipping. But seriously, Jordan, Putang, Bob, all you guys, the whole team out there, thank you. You can see I've partaken in it. But let me explain this, why this is special, okay? So we used to go to Jersey. Me, my wife, and my daughter. We go to Jersey, go to the beach. And I always wanted my daughter to try some of the Johnson's caramel corn, but she can't because she has a peanut allergy. And the stuff that they make at that factory is where they make the Johnson's popcorn they have an option with peanuts and stuff in it, right? So because of the fear of cross contamination, we can't let her have any. It sucks that she has a peanut allergy, but it is what it is. So I read this, and it literally just says contains milk and soy. Hold on. I don't know. From what I'm reading, I think that I will be allowed to let my daughter have some of this, which is super exciting. And I've never in her entire life been able to let her have some. So it looks like it just says milk and soy. So thank you, because I don't know if this is made off site, a different location or whatever, but this does not have anything about peanuts. So thank you. What's not exactly true? Dark. Not exactly true, dark. What? What you should have done is bought, a 5 or 10 or $20 super chat. Then you would have been able to explain yourself. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Tell me what you mean, Crumpy. As far as the background check thing. But thank you again, Jordan. All the guys and gals at Gideon, JSD, Patmos, all those guys. I appreciate you. It has people in it. What? What? Soy lint green is people. It just says milk and soy. Contains milk and soy. Have that epi ready. Oh, always. Bro, we literally do not leave anywhere. You know me, okay? I literally strap every single possible thing to me that I might need, okay? So you're looking at a dude, right? That, of course, I got the shoulder rig, right, with the 1911 on it. I'm not a 1911 guy. I'm probably gonna sell this shit. I don't even like it. But anyway, got the shadow systems on me with that extra mag though, with an EMP, 23 rounds in that bad boy, okay? But why stop there? So I got the Blizzade, okay? You got to have a good blade. Now, sometimes I'll carry an extra, like, little baby OTF or something just for utility stuff. But then I got the Goon Beam, okay? Which is a super bright. If you haven't seen the EDC, the indestructible EDC, bro, you got to get on it. And then the fun stuff, psst, get that pooper spray. Look, I know people are going to make their jokes, okay? But if I can possibly hose somebody down with the hot sauce instead of having to deposit jacketed hollow points in their sternum, I would much rather do that. Plus, when there's like groups of annoying kids, it's always good to have it in your back pocket to be able to like tuck it down, spray it at an angle, and pss, 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 you know what I mean? I'm totally joking, by the way. I would never do anything like that. Ed Zachary, what's up, bro? Also a Chinamemba. I appreciate you. Soylent Green is a book. I don't even know what y'all are talking about. Oh, sorry, Dark. It's a movie reference. Okay, yeah. I'm so confused at this point. Bend over. What's up, bro? Also, Chinamemba, paramilitary 2 all day. Yeah, I would not actually hose down teenagers with pepper spray. They'd have to be adults, combatants, military age males. No, joking. I wouldn't do that. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to Jordan Benro, to Bob, Senor Bob, the other Senor Bob, Putang, for sending something. You know what? This could be one of the packages that I could review for mailroom. But I already have a couple on the way, so I'm pumped about that. Yeah, and if you guys do want to send something to be featured in the mailroom special, I'll go ahead and put this here for you guys to take down. Just don't send poop, any bodily fluid, excrement, or any GPS tracking device, tiles, anything like that. Everything will be opened by the whatever person I could pay to open up the boxes at the PO box. Anyway, moving along. Grandstad, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Pepper spray good for dogs too. Facts, right? If you don't want to have to lay down a doggy. Bath water, okay, as long as it is sent in something breakable, because that would be hilarious. And whose bath water are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? No bags of dicks either. If they're pretend, I'm okay with that because I'm gonna show whatever comes on camera. That sounds disgusting. Douglas Boing, great to see you. Appreciate you coming in as well. My friend carried a taser till I tased myself with it a few times. Bro, look, anything less than lethal is going to be spotty at best, right? You never know how people are going to react to it. I would take hot sauce over a taser any day, just from the ease of concealability, the ability to deploy it, and carrying something that is the approximate size of a firearm with single use, and then you could drive stun them if you're lucky. But you got to go hand to hand, right? And the whole point of a tool is to prevent from having to go hand to hand. So if I can create distance, hose you down, it's still going to take 15 to 30 seconds to even start to take effect. And then maybe, just maybe, I can get you to change your mind. And I'll probably have to tell you that I have a gun pointed at you at that point. But either way, if there's something, and I know people are going to say, well, Dark, if you shoot somebody, then they're going to say, well, he had pepper spray on him and whatever. Tell me when that's happened before. I don't know. And you know what? I don't care, because if that is my biggest issue, then guess what? I'm still alive to deal with that issue, and I'll take that all day. So whatever. He used a gun when he had a lightsaber on him. He could have used a lightsaber. He had a lightsaber when he could have used a gun. He had pepper spray. I really don't care. The same thing for like what type of ammunition you carry in your gun. Look, and I know that there's like rip ammo and all that stuff, and I wouldn't personally fall for any of that like scam ammo. It's like it looks really good in Instagram pictures, but functions like dog shit. Would I want to be shot with rip ammo? Absolutely not, right? But there are some ammos that look interesting that aren't gimmicky. For an example, the G9 research, G9 defense, the G9 defense external hollow point. These are nasty. And then the other ones, I don't know if I have any handy of the Buffalo Killers, but either way, y'all have seen them before. But it's good stuff. They work, and if they didn't work, I wouldn't even consider using them. And I typically don't carry those. Like right now, bam, HSTs, baby. And I think, oh, even better, 115 grain Remington regular white and green box. Okay, so before y'all destroy me for that, okay, I was in a hurry and I had to leave my house to get somewhere, to get to my barber's actually, and I was already running late. Surprise, surprise, Dark was late. And I grabbed the Shadow Systems and I'm like, yeah, I want to rock the Shadow Systems today. And then I'm like, man, I need another mag. And I had the gray mags, but I was like, I don't want to rock a gray mag with an FDE, Shadow Systems. So then there was just this one sitting there, and I was like, oh, dope. So I grabbed it, picked it up, and I looked at it. I was like, ugh, 115 grain Remington white and green box. Whatever, fuck it. And I just loaded it in, like, I don't care. Now, yes, you should only keep premium ammunition for your carry. Hey man.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
What's up, homie?
Hi man. How are you?
You there?
Can you hear me?
I can't. Hold on.
Have you
I
plugged
really
it?
can't hear you.
You tried to unplug it and plug it back in? So a couple things. HST does have
All right, I hear you now. You
Okay.
got a couple things wrong.
Okay. All right. We'll give me 1 second. We'll come back to it. So HSTs do have expansion. By the way, I love that you have the CRS patch in your picture. I actually have that same patch on my helmet right next to my Tyrant Killer patch. Now, two things. HSTs have dope expansion. I've tested them a lot in water, because in water they'll typically respond similarly to a liquid medium, but that's only been in like shooting actual pools, right? Because when you shoot like buckets of water, it can still hit the plastic, the ground, and shit like that. So that's been in actual pools, right? Now, I think that they would function very well as well from what I've seen and just some of the research I've done, watching other people's videos, ballistic gel, barriers and shit like that. But gold dots are one of the only types of ammunition that just almost in 9, 40, and 45 would not open up, would not expand in almost any situation. Now, maybe it's because they're bonded and they're made more to go through a barrier and then hit a liquid medium like flesh and then open up. I don't know though, but because I've literally never seen a gold dot expand in the test that I was doing, I was like, all right, I'm not going to carry those. But I used to carry them all the time. Okay, so what were you saying, Grumpy?
You got a couple things wrong.
Okay.
First, everyone
Well,
goes.
I will say I didn't espouse that they were fact. I said I think it may be true. So just saying.
First, everyone goes through an FBI background check, whether it's a single point of contact state or not. There's two different FBI systems. The first system is called NICS. Well, it's not. I wouldn't say it's the first, but NICS is the one that a lot of people are familiar with. That's the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, and certain states lets people get put through there directly via the FFL, right? You have NCIC, which is a criminal background check, but it's not NICS. It's basically what sheriff's departments and everything and police departments use.
Is that utilized in a firearm transaction?
No. I'm just saying there's two different types.
Okay.
But when you go through a single point, of
Keep going.
I'll get to the bypass. When you go to a single point of contact state, like Virginia or some other states, you still get ran through NICS. But instead of the FFL doing two separate background checks, one through the state and one through NICS, you run the background check through the state, and the state takes it and puts it through NICS themselves. So instead of contacting NICS and the state police, you're just contacting the state police, and they do everything. So you're still going through it. It just depends on if it's a single point or you go through two separate points. There is an exception, which certain states have, like Arizona, for example. If they require you to go through NICS and everything else like that, when you get a concealed carry permit and NICS, and that concealed carry permit requires NICS and has all the same requirements as a firearms transaction, then the states have the option of saying you can use a concealed carry permit as a NICS bypass. But you still went through NICS, but you went through NICS when you got that concealed carry permit. There is a couple of lawsuits going on because instead of places that ran you through NICS when you got a concealed carry permit, they ran you through NCIC. This is why I brought up NCIC. Like in Virginia, they ran you through NCIC when you get a concealed carry permit, which is pulling from the same database NICS does, but it's a separate database. So the ATF tries to say that's not right, blah blah blah, But yeah. Also, the second thing you said after the Brady period, which is the number of days, 3 or 7. Actually, I think 7.
So what I said, because I wasn't sure by the time I had said that I believe that after a certain point, if they don't come back with in research or a denial, then they have to release the firearm to you at some point. But I wasn't sure.
Kinda. Federally, they have to at least give the FBI, state police, or whoever the point of contact is 7 days to do it. And most states stay with that 7 days.
Peace out, Andy Lipscomb.
States can arbitrarily increase that to like infinity if they wanted to.
So, okay, so
for Florida, there is no transfer until they hear back. Virginia, 7 days. Other states are 7 days. There's certain states that are 30 days. There's certain that are 10 days. But there's a minimum of 7 days.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I think I started working at the gun shop. I was probably, I don't even remember, 23 to 25, like that ballpark. Or probably like whatever, 21 to 23-ish. And I worked there for like 5 years. And although it didn't happen too often, because people are either approved, delayed, and then approved, or put into research, and then I may never hear about it again because maybe it goes to someone else or whatever, or they're denied.
There's
And
another catch though.
okay,
A gun shop does not have to transfer it after
yeah,
7 days, even if the state says we're gonna use the minimum of 7 days. A
the gun
gun shop,
shop can choose not to.
they can choose not to.
Yeah, and they can choose not to for any reason in any situation. They
Yeah,
have that discretion. Holy moly! Whoa,
that's
um, Matt, dang! I saw earlier he said, "Hold on, I'm trying to put in the credit card, but I messed something up." Yo, Matt, bro, thank you. He said glowies for life, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I was absolutely not expecting that, dude. Thank you. I appreciate it. And if you want to throw another message in there, man, let me know. And let me know what I could do, what you would like to see on the channel, what guests you'd like to see, and I'll put this towards, finding another way to give back to you guys, or maybe do more giveaways and stuff like that too. So thank you, Matt. I appreciate you. Glowies for life all day, every day. Takes one to glow one. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much. We'll leave that up for a minute.
so it makes sense now.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I wasn't certain. I did say, hold on. Hope everyone is doing well. Let me know if you guys have any updates towards Dugan. Yeah, I haven't talked to Dugan in a long time since he came back on the show. God, I mean, that was probably, it was right after everything happened with his health stuff, man. And I haven't spoken with him since then. From what I hear from others that have spoken with him, he's doing good. He's healthy. He's the best his health has ever been since things got bad. So that's good. But Dugan, if you're out there, bro, man, I would love to chat with you to catch up. I miss you. I miss our late night talks. I miss your voice, your comforting voice. I'm just kidding. But Dugan, I do miss you. I do love you, and would love to chat with you, man. If anyone else out there has contact with him too, because his number changed and hadn't heard from him since. So
Oh, by the way, you all have to tune in on January 3rd. We might have something going on that day. So.
that's my birthday.
Oh, really?
Yep. I'm happy to hear that. You look good as well. That's right. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Don't let it fool you. It's only
January
my
2nd.
haircut.
Sorry, January 2nd. Sorry.
What's going on the second?
Can't say anything.
You can't say anything?
It's a surprise for the new year.
Dang. Okay. Well, that's cool, I guess.
The build up to a big announcement.
No, not for delayed. Ad 10 is on an approval. Your form usually clears within a day, hence why no news is good news. So it depends. I was
I've
worrying about doing it. Me too, bro.
I've seen it be delayed for 10 days, for 7 days, and then the 8th. Like I own a gun store, I had one that was delayed 7 days, and they never came back, so I transferred it on the 8th day.
So
And
I was actually surprised about that. At this time, I was younger and more naive, and I was working at the gun shop and didn't know. And I looked at firearms and transferring firearms differently, right? And it was right around the time that I sold that Ruger to that dude, and he shot and killed himself, which may have been. We found out. I described the scene of exactly what happened, and Crump may have gone on this call when he was with the fire department, which is crazy to even think
yeah,
about
we,
that.
we talked about it, and it was like everything matched up. Same description of the guy, same age, same everything, same area that the dude lived in.
Yeah, I went through and I explained. I was telling the story, and Crump was like, "Hold on,
Did it happen
was
at
this
this
dude
time?
like this? Did it happen then? Did it happen this time? Did he look like this? Was he in the military?" I was like, "Yo, why are you asking?" And he was like, "He actually came across the guy. But up until that point,
Witnessed it.
was he still alive when you came on scene?
Yeah, he was sitting in a chair in his driveway.
I didn't know if he lived or died.
No,
But
no.
I mean, people have made it through crazier things.
No. This dude head was
So
blue.
for the people that don't know, here's what happened, and we'll get back on topic. When I worked at the gun shop, I was a Glock fanboy. Can you believe it? I know, crazy, right? So a dude walked in and he was like, "Hey, my wife or his wife was in the military. That's what it was." And he's like, "Hey, my wife's in the military, and she really wants to get a handgun for the house. I'm not really sold on it, but I figured I would just come and take a look." And he was coming over to the used gun section, and he was like, "I just want to find something used, something cheap, but something that could be good for home defense and taken to the range and all that." So I said, "Okay, like let's take a look." He pointed out a used Ruger P95. Was it a P9? That's the newer one, right? Yeah, used Ruger P95, and yeah, that's the newer one, polymer frame, stainless. Yeah, okay. So anyway, it was like three something, like 325 or something like that, maybe 350. I don't know, but it was inexpensive. And I was like, well, if you're going to go, to 325, 350, then you could get a used Glock for like 450 at the time. So, I showed him some different options, showed him the M&P and all that. And he was like, you know what? Before I make a decision, let me step out and call my wife. Now, up until this point, he was totally normal, didn't even break a sweat, didn't seem nervous. He did seem distracted now, like looking back on it, but he was really focused on just which gun to get. And he just seemed distracted, I'll say that. And he walked outside the gun store and then hopped on the phone, and he said he was calling his wife. He called his wife. It was like a 30-second call, and he came right back in, and he was like, "I'll buy it." I was like, "Okay, which one?" He said, "I'll take that one," and it was the Ruger. So he got the Ruger P95, did the paperwork and all that, and then at the end, he was like, "I need to get some ammo," and I was like, "Okay, you can go with full metal jackets or hollow points. This is for just going to the range. Like this is just going to poke holes through people. This is actually going to like mushroom out and transfer the energy and blah blah blah." And I was explaining the difference between full metal jackets and jacketed hollow points, and he's like, I'll just get the full metal jackets, the range ammo." I was like, "Okay, no problem." So I rang him up. He bought the gun. He cleared the background check. He bought it, and then he walked out. And like 3 days later, I get a call from my gun shop, and I'm like, "Yo, what's up, man?" Is my guy is my guy that is a friend of mine there. And I answered the phone saying something stupid, right? Like "What's up, motherfucker?" Like like that. And he's like, "Hey, there's a detective here, and he wants to talk to you about this transaction. Do you remember this transaction?" Gave me the guy's info, and I was like, "Yeah, it was a Ruger P95, a used one." He's like, "Yeah, you need to talk to this detective now." So the detective called me, or he passed the phone to the detective, and we were on the phone, and he was like, "Hey, did you sell this gun to this person at this time?" I was like, "Yep, I remember it exactly. It was this day. I worked this day between these hours and this time, and I sold him a used Ruger P95." And I told him the whole thing, and I'm thinking like it was used in a robbery, or like the gun was stolen or something. And he was like, "Well, I want to let you know that the gentleman shot himself." And I was like, "Okay, don't tell me anymore. I don't want to know if he lived or if he died. I don't want to know." And he was like, "Well, what happened was," and he goes on and tells me the entire story. What this dude did was he loaded up like 3 rounds in the magazine, and oh no, he said he loaded 1 round in the magazine, and then in the morning when he was going out getting ready for work, he put the magazine in, charged the pistol, he put it to his heart, and then pulled the trigger. Boom. Okay. Well, that didn't kill him, of course, because it's a Full Metal Jacket just going through you, right? You may have 5, 10, 30 minutes, 3 days, like it depends what it hits, right? Well, it didn't hit his heart, and he loaded another round into the magazine, loaded the magazine back in the gun, charged it again. He put it under his chin and he pulled the trigger, but he did not place it correctly because it actually went through his lower palate. It went up into his upper palate, went into his sinuses, and ejected out of like the skin and skull area over his eye. So that didn't work either. And he then got out of the car with the gun in his hand, slide back, and he stumbled out of his car. He walked out and he walked up the like walkway to his house, and then he collapsed. And I was like, okay, like I don't need to hear anything else. Don't tell me anything else. Just, whatever. Ask me any other questions that that you need to ask. Hey, Princess, good to see you. And that was it. I never heard anything else about it. I never heard back from the detectives. Never heard back from no one from the ATF reached out. Like nothing ever happened. Didn't know if he lived or died or anything at all. And then years later, we're talking like a decade later, we're having a random conversation, John and I. And I will say, before we go there, it kind of fucked me up a little bit to be like, man, I sold a gun to a dude that, was literally contemplating suicide. Like he didn't see that it was a Ruger. He didn't see that it was a Glock. He didn't see whatever. He just saw that this was a way he had to kind of play it and sell it to get his gun and get out, and he did that. And man, I mean, looking back, like I guess now I can see some of the things that he did or didn't do was a little off, but I never would have realized anything at that point. Nothing gave me like a heads up. Nothing gave me a clue. Like I had no idea. And the sad thing is, thinking back to when he stepped out and called his wife, I think he did actually call his wife. And I think that was like his defining moment of if he was, and I'm just speculating, but I think that was his defining moment on like if he was really going to do it or not.
Yeah, okay. I ran into, and I was beginning a little bit of the mix up. Yeah, okay. This is the guy that he was having marital issues over spending.
Overspending, like money issues.
Yeah.
Well, marital issues will do it. Does it all the time. People, there's always another way, right? Like anybody out there that's having a difficult time, there's always another way. Yeah, it's just terrible. I think that he walked outside and he called his wife, and I think he probably asked her some question, whatever. And women do the shit that women do, and she probably treated him like shit, spoke to him like dog shit. Why would you even call me like that? That's a stupid question to ask. And not even thinking of what this man may be willing to do. And I'm not saying all women are like that, okay? But sometimes women can be difficult and women can be, challenging. And if he wasn't in the right mind during that time, he may have been like, you know what? Okay, fuck it. I will do it. And then he walked in, because when he walked back in, he's like, all right, I'll take that one. Like that was it. And yeah, so I mean, I wish, going back, I mean, I can't control what anyone does or doesn't do, right? Like I have no control over that. But it did fuck me up for a little while that I sold a gun to a dude that killed himself, and I'm sure I probably sold other guns to other dudes that killed themselves that I have no idea about, but around that same time, a buddy of mine that worked at the shop, the one that called me actually, a little bit before that, he sold a micro Desert Eagle in 380 to a lady that shot herself. And around that same time, a woman had come in to the gun shop saying that she wanted a gun, and then she said something that alluded to the fact that she was going to hurt herself with it, so they denied the sale. That same day, she went to a local shooting range, asked to rent a gun. She rented a gun. She went into the shooting range and literally loaded it up, ran to the chamber. She fired like a shot or two, and then put it to her head. Boom.
That's
Shot herself.
happened 3 times at the same shooting range.
And I think it's happened even more than that.
Well, I 3 times that I know of.
So basically, when that happens, they literally clean it up, tarp it off, and then keep running business as usual. Have you ever seen a one of those sections like blocked off or tarped off?
I have not.
And they'll put stuff up like they're working on it or whatever. That's when people do that, they literally just like keep running business as usual. And I get it, but Bob says, I had a cousin shot himself because of his girlfriend keeping their kids from him. Damn. That range self-harm happens pretty often. It does happen pretty often, unfortunately. I have 3 friends who killed themselves, 2 sandbox vets, and an MMA fighter. Miss him so much. Yeah, man. That's a crazy thing, man. I'm sorry for anybody who's had to go through that, man. It's a crazy thing, man. It's a motherfucker. At one shooting range, when I was on vacation, they asked to speak to my wife on the phone to ensure I wasn't there for self-harm. Apparently, they had a few issues. What? At one shooting range, I was on vacation. They asked to speak to my wife on the phone to ensure I wasn't there for self-harm. Okay. Apparently, they had a few issues. Wow, that's crazy. If they were that proactive about it, like that's insane. Bro, double X, you nailed it. Get right with God. Absolutely. Right now is the time. Get right with your family. Get right with God. You know, it definitely feels like we're in the end times. I guess it's always felt like we're in the end times, you know. But yeah, it's crazy. So in the conversation, I was talking about it, and I shared that happened. Grump was like, "Yo, that is exactly like similar or very similar to a situation that he had responded to for like EMS stuff as a firefighter when he was on the volunteer firefighter squad or whatever."
Yep.
Savinity, what's up, bro? Good to see you. DLD, when I lived in Corpus Christi, a guy killed himself, but it didn't compare to military suicide. Had a chief choke himself on the ship with comms cord over divorce. Enlisted guy shot himself. Wow. Man. Yeah, you know, I part of me looks at like all the people that I've lost being, you know, in recovery myself and, you know, getting through overcoming addiction. I can't even say overcoming addiction because even though I'm clean and I've been clean for over 13 years, there's still the aspect of the psychological addiction, you know. I would never, ever go back to using, but when I look at my friends that I've lost due to opiates, due to fentanyl, due to, you know, overdoses, all this shit, or violence because of drug dealing and things like that, I kind of look at that as self-harm in a way too, because you're so apathetic to yourself and your own health and everything that you allow yourself to get to a point where you do not care if you live or die, and then you use, and then boom, you're gone, you know? It's terrible. Guns and Jesus, get some. Absolutely. Take America Back, what's up, bro? We had to fly with the chief because we were the chopper to airlift him. It was sad, 14-year chief. Damn, that's crazy. My neighbor clicked his off button. He was battling addiction, and I guess he just said, hold on. He just said, fuck it one day. His lawn man found him because the food delivery was still on the porch from the day before. Man, I had a friend that was my best friend growing up. Like, this was the dude that like I spent like every Friday and Saturday night at his house. Like, we were best friends. Now, looking back at it, the family was cursed, man. Son died, father commit suicide, and the other son is in the federal penitentiary. Mom is in the house that they built the family in alone. Like, everyone is gone but her. It has to be torture for her. Um, Man, I don't believe in like curses and stuff like that, but it's hard to believe that that family does not have some type of, I don't know. But anyway, so at the time he was, so what? So probably around like 21-ish. We were all around that age when one of our friends passed away. He hung himself in jail, unfortunately. Um, did so very creatively. I'll give him that. He was a smart mofo. And I know this isn't what we were talking about. It just kind of came up. But anyway, I had a friend that was in and out of the legal system all the time. He was constantly getting in trouble, constantly getting locked up, getting released, being on probation. He was on probation, but he had relapsed. So he was using, and he bought like an 8 ball, like 3.5 grams of heroin. So he had a big sack of heroin, and he was driving back to his house, and he got pulled over. And they ended up pulling him over, and he literally ate the bag of 3.5 grams of heroin. And when he got pulled over, he thought that by the end of the traffic stop, I'll be able to go puke or like whatever to get it out, I guess he thought, or that he would be able to pass it. But you can't just eat a plastic bag. Like, you got to prep that stuff if you're going to actually try to pass it. But anyway, I don't want to give anyone any ideas here. But when he got pulled over, it was actually a violation of his probation to be with the person that he was with. And that person was dirty too. So they ended up both getting arrested. They were both charged with something in the car, and he went to jail. So when he went to jail, they put him in the cell, and then brought him a dinner tray, and came back in the morning, brought him a breakfast tray, but the dinner tray was still there from the night before, untouched. Came back in the afternoon, put a lunch tray on top of the 2 trays, and then came back with a dinner tray. And before they stacked the 4th tray, they ended up saying, we should probably check on him. They came in there, the bag had busted inside of him, and he had died. He probably could have been saved if they actually did their job and checked on him. And this is why that entire jail was torn the F down. It was all broken. Everything was, but the whole place smelled like black mold, and the mattresses smelled cheesy. Ask me how I know. And it was just a terrible jail anyway. But he literally died in bed, high as gas, probably in his sleep. And then in the same jail, had a friend hang himself. Yeah, it's fucked up, man. It's you lose a lot of people, especially when you have this this element of darkness to a group of friends, a generation. It just, whether it's drugs, substance abuse, or violence, gang violence, whatever it is, trafficking, drugs, these things, like, they plague certain groups of people, and then after a while, it ends up, yeah. DLD, drug desperation hit them hard. Lost my cousin because of drugs and the desperation of needing to get more. Yeah, it will destroy you. I've been there myself. Tim Harper says 18 years in jails and prisons. You see a lot. Damn, I didn't know that you were like a CO or something. Hello, darkness, my old friend. For real. Yeah, my bad. I don't mean to bring the mood down like that. But anyway, let's get back into what we were talking
Bummer,
about.
man. Bummer.
I know. It sucks, man. Hey, Zachary, what's up, bro? Good to see you. If I didn't already say what's up.
I can tell you I've been really busy.
What's that?
I've been really busy.
Yeah.
I think we might have some massive news tomorrow.
What kind of news?
Can't say.
Is it about guns?
Yeah, it's about guns. No, I just think that there's going to be a court decision come out tomorrow because I've been watching. I monitor her pacer and all the court cases, and there's one that I noticed that they are clearing out today. They cleared out every unanswered motion, every unanswered ruling. They did all that in one day.
So is this a positive thing?
I don't know. Depends. It could be.
Yeah.
Not. I mean, I don't know what the decision is. It just appears that they are getting ready to issue a decision in the case, so much so that I did all the legwork for an article, like wrote it out, and
Man, that sounds
waiting for it to fill in the blanks.
you're a rare breed, Crump.
Yeah, and I just finished another about the 18 to 20-year-old thing.
You're a very rare breed.
Yeah, about the stay. So
I'm just guessing. I have no idea.
no, the 18. Oh no. I didn't know you were hinting at something. No.
Let me show this off my 36-ounce X-Cal thing, and we'll get back to the conversation.
It's definitely not that. It's not rare breed. December suck, man. Dude, there's so much news.
Do they still have an injunction, rare breed?
They got an injunction. The government tried to go and ask the Fifth to stay the injunction, and the Fifth said, "Hell no, motherfuckers."
They said nope. So technically, people can lawfully use rare breed triggers right now, or any force reset trigger right now.
Correct.
So any, doesn't matter if it's a fur.
Well, no, rare breed. Sorry.
Okay, rare breed only.
FR 1515. The injunction didn't touch any other things.
Facts. Farmer James, good to see you, by the way. It says Narcan is over the counter and should be in everyone's belt first aid kit. So yes,
we have it at our house, and it's not because anyone at my house is going to do freaking fentanyl.
Yeah.
It's just you never know about what could happen, right?
Craig, what up? Yeah, it could be if a kid gets into something, if it could be, like I've seen people doing live streams that literally came across somebody ODing that saved somebody's life just in the middle of a live stream.
Well, not only that, but let's say, for example, you
a neighbor.
Well, no, let's say your kid has like a piece of candy.
Yeah.
That somehow got coated in fentanyl, or
Yeah, it could be anything, right? You never know. And I think so. It depends on the state. Some states you can literally go and just ask for it over the counter and buy it. Some
Virginia,
states you can. So Virginia used to do this thing where you could literally contact your insurance company and they would have to, by law, send you a free naloxone or a Narcan nasal inhaler. But they stopped doing that. And you have to get a doctor to write a prescription.
Not in Virginia. You can go get it directly from Walgreens.
Yeah, now you can. But they had gone through some, some things to get to that point. But yeah, it should be kept in your kit if it's in your car. Don't leave it in your car, because if your car gets super hot and super cold and all that, it's not good for it. But keep it like in your bag or whatever. And if you're going to keep one, you should keep two, because nowadays with the amount of
fentanyl, sometimes it takes two.
Yeah, sometimes it even takes more than two. But it could at least save somebody's life to the point where, you could get them to higher care. That's the most important thing. And that's what most of the shit in your gun belt is, or your like IFAC is used for anyway, right? Your chest seal isn't to fix anyone. It's to get them to higher care. Your your gauze, your tourniquets, your all that stuff. The purpose of it is to get them to, a surgeon. Your hemostatic, your clotting agents, your all that stuff. Drone fentanyl drug dispensers should be a worry. Yeah. See, I don't think if they did do that, I don't think they understand how high my tolerance is for opiates. So I'm gonna be straight walking through the dust, just like with small pupils, just being totally fine. But yeah, that's you know, a valid point. Great point, Farmer James. Okay, so getting back into it. So when we were having the conversation, we were talking about on part two, we were talking about different types of ARs, from budget entry level ARs to low tier, mid tier, high mid tier, high tier. And I think it's easy, kind of when I thought about this afterwards, it's easy to get caught up on that type of stuff. Okay. But I want you guys to remember something: the mid tier, high mid tier, and high tier, unless you're going to be running your gun every single day, picking it up, throwing it in the car, in the trunk, taking it to the range, beating it up, lugging it around, bumping it into shit, just knocking it around all the time, every single day. You don't necessarily need a duty grade gun, but one that's going to last to 50, 60,000 rounds. You may need just one that works enough to be able to defend yourself and your family and preserve your own life and preserve the innocent lives of others. So try not to get too caught up on that conversation that we had. Okay. I think what's important is, like I mentioned before, you can take an Anderson lower, an Anderson upper with a decent barrel, like a BCM bolt, BCM BCG, and I don't know. I mean, you could take a Faxon barrel, right? I don't even know who makes Faxon barrels. I'm sure they don't. Or if you wanted to go Gucci, Ballistic Advantage, that. I'll tell you what, I ordered when I saw that those Anderson barrels were on sale for $39. I got one, yes, please. And I'm going to use that on another build, because guess what? It's probably it's a 35% likelihood that Mossberg made that barrel anyway. And if it's not Mossberg, then it's going to be one of the other 4 companies that manufacture barrels in this country. So
yeah, it's just like there's only 6 companies that manufacture a lot of lower receivers.
Yeah, same thing. Yep. So whether it's Anderson or whether, and you know what I learned? The same is to be said in most like high volume Kydex holster companies. So many of those are white labeled by other companies. Most things. I've heard good things about Roscoe. Yeah, I don't know who makes Roscoe barrels, but I've heard decent things about them. Honestly, people try to dunk on PSA all the time, but like I said before, in both episodes that we did, I've got a bunch of PSA guns and they work. They run, right? The Toolcraft bolt carriers, they run. So you just need to make sure that you have a gun that runs, okay? And when we're talking about handguns, yes, I am a Glock snob. I am an admitted Glock snob. I prefer Glocks mostly because I just build so many damn Glocks, But it doesn't have to be a Glock. The reason that any of us talk about, a like this for an example, a semi-automatic double stack 9mm Glock being the magazine, is because they are one of the most popular magazines for civilian, civilian, military, law enforcement, well, not necessarily military, but, for those types of applications. So your ability to get parts, your ability to get magazines, your ability to get ammo and all that is way more likely. Even if you don't come across the magazines, you're likely to come across 9mm ammo. So that's why we say that. Do you have to get a Glock? No. Do you have to get something that takes Glock magazines? No. That's just a thing that, because it is so reasonably priced, we like I may say, hey, you know what? You should get a Glock because I've purchased Glocks for $300 to $400. You can get used ones for cheap, and they take Glock mags, they take Glock parts, and whatever. You don't have to get a Gen 7 MOS. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's a joke, but you don't have to get the newest and latest MOS
Hey, I'm gonna have to run,
You're
Dark,
good.
but I do want to ask. Uh, I'm gonna answer Kieski's question because I
Okay.
think the answer might be a little bit similar. I mean, not similar, a little bit easier than what he thinks. He wants to do a FOIA for variance records to get like who makes lowers and stuff like that. You don't even have to do that because there's roll marks on each lower, and you can compare the roll marks to see who made what.
Yeah.
And you can just look up the roll marks online. So
Yep. Now you're talking about like the key marks at the top of the receiver.
yeah,
There's tells all over receivers.
yeah, like
Yep.
each of those are registered to a specific company, so you can go ahead and take a look and decide.
Yeah.
Not decide. All right, man. Well, I gotta go. I gotta finish up this article.
Yeah, you're good, man. I
All right,
appreciate you.
guys. I love you guys much.
Vote for John for the Gundies for a
I
top
would
voice in
appreciate it.
2A.
And I will see you guys later. Just didn't want to leave you hanging out there. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.
You're good, brother. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Later.